Right, guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be potting on some of my chilies, my seedlings. As you can see, I let some get a little bit leggy, but that's not a problem because that can be sorted. Because what all you need to do is get some pots, fill it with compost, put a hole in the middle, and get the real leggy seedlings right down. So all you would have is about that kind of much of a seedling showing from the top. So I have got my Burkino yellow, which are the ones at the front here, to possibly look at potting on. I've got my Bishop's crown that will need potting on. The quick fire F1, there's only one come up so far. Same with the Demon Reds, there's only a couple. I've got my Carolina Reapers starting to appear. So I may pot them on. I'm not sure yet. They're not too bad because they aren't too big. But I'll probably transfer them back to my heated propagator, and then I'll be looking at potting on some of these chilies here. So as always, there is a lot to be getting on with, so I will come back to you guys in a minute and we'll see where we go from there. Right, guys, not only have I got chilies to pot on, I've got some Igor F1 sprouts that I let get too leggy, and also just before they get too leggy, some spinach matador to pot on as well. Now I brought some special compost for the potting on stage, and I bought Johnson's #1 compost, young plant. So it helps germination, it helps establish the young seedlings, it gives healthier growth, and it gives ongoing vitality, develops stronger roots, and also feeds for up to 4 weeks. So I'm going to put some of that in here and then start my potting on. I'll get the chilies out of the way first, and then I will do the sprouts and the spinach. The only ones that haven't come up yet are the Evesham. I'm not sure whether they will, but I can certainly pot on the Igor. And I'm going to be using some of these trays, some of these pots here that I bought this morning, but also using these brown ones as well. So without any further ado, I'm going to start cracking on with the potting on, and I'll show you the process when I come back to you guys in a very short while. Right, guys, so I've taken the seedlings out. Now this is where you have to be quick. So I've got a pot here that is deep rooted. Just going to fill it with the Johnson's #1 compost that I sifted, just to get all the hard bits out. And then just plonk it down. I'm going to give it a tiny bit of a water just to moisten it up a bit, and then make a hole, and then by the leaves, going careful, plonk your seedling in the hole, going very careful. And then literally just checking out something else a minute. Let's go down as much as you can, just going careful not to damage the seedling. So there we have it, guys. The first one's potted on. It's at a nice height. I'll get the others potted on and then I'll come back to you and show you the end result. Right, guys, that is the bishop's crown potted on. I'll do the rest and then I'll show you the end result. Right, guys, I've potted everything on there apart from 3 things that haven't fully come up yet. So in the corner we have got the big cuna, I think that is yellow. I've potted them on. I've obviously potted on the Carolina Reaper, fingers crossed with them because they do need a lot of heat. But I've brought them in the house, so I've brought a tray that I've got from in my shed, put it on my shelving unit here, and I've put everything on the shelving unit. I've got potted on the spinach matador. I've potted on the Igor F1 sprouts. I've potted on the bishop's crown, the raging bull, the pepper barut, and the quick one, the quick fight F1, and the red demon. Only 2 chilies for each of them germinated. But yeah, hopefully, guys, we'll see what happens with this. Hopefully things will germinate, and we'll see what happens. So this is only a short video, but we're going to see if things start to develop, and we'll go from there. I'm hoping the Carolina Reapers will come on nicely, but it's a waiting game now, guys, to see what happens now that I've potted on, because some stuff was too leggy. Right, guys, so today I'm planting out my seed potatoes. They're all ready to go. I've got kind of 5 different varieties. Now, I know I said I was only going to go for 3. Decided to go for 4 kind of in the end. But then my boss where I work offered me 4 seed potatoes. Didn't tell me what variety they were. So they are going to be planted out as a mystery variety. So I've got 4 varieties that I know what they are, and I'll show you what they are. And I've got one which is a mystery, so I'll take you out and show you that now. Right, so as you can see on my patio table there, I've got the 5 different varieties of seed potato. I've got Mary's Bard, Estima, Pentland Dell, and I've got a variety called Marquise, which are a main crop. So I'll put them out into the raised bed straight in front of you. And then I've got the 4 seed potatoes there, which are a mystery because they didn't tell me what they were. And I've got a little tub, and they're going to go in the little tub just because I want to keep them separate from all the rest of the potatoes. I've also got on the table, as you can see, some calabrese, and that hopefully will also be going out today. So without any further ado, I'm going to get cracking on and planting out some seed potatoes. Okay guys, so I'm just finished off now. So this is the update around planting out the potatoes. So I've planted out in this raised bed here that we built last year the Mary's Bard potatoes. They were planted on the 4th of the 3rd yesterday. I also planted the Pentland Dell, the Estima, and the Marquise. Also, this morning, I've planted out some calabrese there. So there's 6 lovely plants there have been planted out. They are probably going to get covered over at some point in a week to protect them from any more frost, just to enable them to come on. And then I'll take you up onto the patio and show you the mystery potatoes that I've got. Haven't planted them out yet, but I know where they're going to be planted into possibly. And then I'll give you a quick guided tour of Nick's veggie patch. And that'll be it for the end of this video. So I'll take you up onto the patio. Okay, so I'm by my cold frame. These are the 4 mystery potatoes that my boss gave me. I don't know what they are, so I will plant them in the next couple of days. I've got a pot lined up to put them in. It's not a very big pot, so I'm not expecting a massive amount of potatoes, but we'll just give it a go and see what happens. I would have put them in my main raised bed, but there's 2 spaces left. I want to use that for something else. Also on my cold frame, I've got some French garlic that still needs to be planted out, and some flowers that are kind of slowly coming to life, and a potted bulb that my missus has potted on. Hopefully it will shoot up again. So just giving you a quick bit of a guided tour up on the patio while we're here. I've got 4 hanging baskets here. The bottom hanging basket has Cambridge Favourite, a variety of strawberries. Then the next one up from that, I have Thyme Ruby Red Glow, which is obviously a herb, thyme herb, and it will produce lovely pink flowers. I've got thyme broad leaved. Also, you get a kind of a nice sort of purplish sort of flower when it does flower. Then I go up. I've got another Thyme Ruby Glow. I didn't realize I had 2 of the same, but thought I'd keep them separate. Then I've got a Pansy F1 Cassia Night, which is obviously got some lovely pansies on. This needs watering, which I'll be doing in a minute. And then up here, I've got some rosemary, some lemon thyme, and some rosemary trailing. So this rosemary, it gives you a lovely sort of a purpley kind of whitish sort of lavender color with the flowers, but it trails. So yeah, I want this rosemary to trail over the hanging basket. So that's what we've got in the hanging baskets up here. These are the remaining calabrese that I'm going to be putting out, whether that's later on today, because obviously it's Mother's Day, going to be taking the mother out. And then on the top here, I've got all my garlic. As you can see, it's doing extremely well. Just a tiny bit of weeding to do before that takes over. But yeah, lovely. Lots of garlic coming up here. And I'll take you down, show you the rest of the garden. So this is the main raised bed. So I've got two types of broad beans this side. And then I've got some onions coming up. I've put my leeks, a few leeks that in, and some calabrese just at the front there, and then swing it round. More broad beans this side and that side, along with some peas, and then obviously the potatoes. And then I just swing it round here, and I've got overwintering sort of kale, two varieties of kale. These ones along here are just starting to come towards the end because they're starting to flower, but I believe you can eat the top part of that. So, but we'll see. And then the last of the rainbow chard. So I'll have more of that to plant out once I've sown it, and then take you to here, which is the fruit bed. I've got fruit tree starting to that's a raspberry plant starting to get fresh foliage on it. Got rhubarb here. I've got a couple of more Cambridgeshire strawberry plants, and blueberry that is also starting to flower. And then the last part, which has got the vegetables in. So this here is the last lot of kale that I had. I've picked most of it today because we're going to have it for tea. And then in the raised bed here, some of the broad beans that were left over that I couldn't get all in the raised bed there. And then in here, two different varieties of onion, Hercules F1 and the yellow moon. But yeah, and then as always, my fig tree, which has got some figs on it, so it's doing really well there. May have to go careful and maybe give that a trim back because I don't want that to get too big. But yeah, it's looking really, really good. And there we have it, guys. Nick's Veggie Patch in an upshot. Right, guys, that's it for this episode of Nick's Veggie Patch. As you can see, lots going on down here in my garden in Nick's Veggie Patch. Lots more things, exciting things going to be happening. But I will see you for another episode very shortly, guys. As always, stay safe. If you like watching these videos then and you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button in the bottom corner, hit the like button in the top. That will give you more videos, similar videos. And if you like my videos, then always take a look at some of the other YouTubers that I follow, the likes of Charles Dowding, Ben Van Heems. I always put them on my YouTube channel. And I'll see you again very shortly, guys. Bye for now.